If you asked me how Mount Whitney was, I'd tell you this. It broke me. It was terrible and beautiful at the same time. I wanted to quit more than once, but the moment I reached the summit, it made every ounce of training worth it. Hi, my name's Omar Covarrubias, founder of the 5 a.m. Crew, a hiking group that meets 3 times a week at Griffith Park in Los Angeles. At the start of this year, I made a declaration. I would summit Mount Whitney before this year was over. I focused on doing hard things in life, the one that pushed me past my comfort zone, and on this day, I finally did it. I didn't do this alone. I joined the Vamos hiking crew led by Luis, a charismatic, experienced leader who runs his hikes with precision. His leads and his crew were just as welcoming. From the moment I arrived, their encouragement made me feel like part of the family. We all arrived a day early to acclimate. Saturday morning started with breakfast in town, the kind of place where you see hikers who just finished Whitney or others about to start. The camaraderie was unreal. That's where Amy handed me a box of altitude sickness patches and told me to share them with anyone who needed them. That generosity, that's what this community is about. After breakfast, I did a quick acclimation at Mobius Arc with my friends Matt, Kim, Chris, and Indy, who's an incredible photographer. Then headed back to the trailhead. I took a nap, walked around, and stepped inside the Whitney Portal gift shop, walls covered in historic photos of climbers dating back to the early 1900s. That's when it hit me. Generations have stood where I was standing, all chasing the same summit. Before the evening, I treated myself to a bacon cheeseburger from the little grill there. Nothing fancy, but easily one of the best I've ever had. Maybe it was the anticipation, maybe it was the mountain air, but it was the perfect fuel for what was ahead. At 9 p.m., we met at the Whitney Portal. Lewis had us lay out our gear for inspection, nothing over 25 pounds. 3 mandatory layers, rain covers for our packs, gloves, beanies, snacks, and water. My pack weighed in at exactly 25 pounds. 2.5 of those, just my hiking poles. Once everyone was ready, Lewis gave a safety rundown, checked weather updates on his Garmin, and got us fired up with his traditional chant, Vamos! Then we walked through the wooden Whitney Portal into the darkness. Headlamps lit the trail. We moved in stages, short breaks to adjust layers, drink water, eat. Lewis kept us steady, reminding us to protect ourselves from the rain and the cold. I thought of something Warren, a fellow hiker, had messaged me. Listen to the mountain, long, slow steps, deep breaths, fill your lungs, empty your lungs, especially above outpost camp. That advice carried me when we hit the 99 switchbacks in the dark. All I could see was a sea of headlamps winding up the mountain. By the time I reached the top of the switchbacks, the sun was breaking over the horizon. I cried, partly from exhaustion, partly from realizing I was getting closer to fulfilling my declaration. 2 miles of false summits, brutal. Every time I thought I was there, another stretch of trail waited for me. More than once, I said out loud, I quit. And every time someone passing by would say, you're almost there. Those words kept me going. Lewis was ahead, tracking the storm on his Garmin. We had until 9 a.m. to make the summit or turn back. I pushed hard, and at 8:40 a.m., I saw the Mount Whitney hut through the fog. That's when the emotion hit again. I dropped my pack, signed the summit log, and took a photo on my knees, holding the summit sign. At the start of the year, I declared I'd stand here. Now I was living it. Going down felt lighter, physically and emotionally. We regrouped at the top of the switchbacks before descending, but as we reached the meadow, the storm hit. Hail and thunder rolled in, and we sheltered under a rock until it passed. By the time we made it back to the portal, the first wave of hikers was already there, cheering each arrival. It was community at its best. This hike is not for the unprepared. It takes months of training, knowledge of your gear, and a crew that knows how to work together. I had to remind myself constantly, I'm not the leader here. Trust the process, trust the people around me. And I need to say this, if you're into steep inclines, next level hikes, and want to challenge yourself in ways you didn't think were possible, go follow the Vamos hiking crew. Lewis and his group went above and beyond to make sure I made it to the top. They checked gear, kept us safe, cheered me on when I was breaking down, and celebrated me when I reached the summit. Their leadership and community are the reason I can say I've done Mount Whitney. And to everyone who's followed my journey to this point, this is the final chapter of my Mount Whitney story and the proof that a declaration backed by work can change everything. If you've ever had a mountain, literal or otherwise, that you've been chasing, I hope this inspires you to go after it. And if you want to be part of this community, come join us. Welcome to the 5 a.m. crew. Follow us to the top.